everyone. As my friend would say, the console is now in session. So, welcome again. I'm your host, like always, the Lord of Shadows. And welcome to another episode of the Shadow Console. But of course, before we start with this amazing new adventure, here's basically my co console member.
Film Review Central here. Thank you very much to our fearless leader, Mr. Lord of Shadows, for inviting me yet on another show. And I know that you guys are all disappointed because that hair in the thumbnail was fake. Sorry to disappoint.
Oh, well, sometimes the truth can hurt. Anyway, so so basically, we're here to talk about something that I think like a lot of us Star Wars fans, we're really excited about, and I just still cannot believe this. Like, at first you would say we're like 3 days away, but now we're 2 days away because they moved up the release date of the two premiere episodes from like Wednesday to Tuesday. I mean, can you believe it? We're like 2 days before Ahsoka. Can you imagine?
It's crazy. I mean, obviously, it was quite funny actually when I saw that it had been moved up because I was just a little bit like, is a day like it's a day closer, which is great, but like, what's a day gonna do? Like, it's interesting with the strategicness, but a lot of Star Wars fans have been waiting for an Ahsoka show since the 2008 Clone Wars movie. She was such a big part of loads of the animated stuff. I'm talking about obviously Clone Wars, Rebels, Tales of the
Yeah,
Jedi, all all of that, and then she's been making her mark on live action recently with Mandalorian and the Boba Fett stuff. So it
indeed.
is about time. It's about time. She's not been in any of the episodes, the 9 episodes of in aka the Skywalker saga. So it's been a long time coming. A lot of people have been waiting for it, and I think the fact that you said we're 48 hours away, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think, but the crazy thing is when you look at the time, you know how they have like the Pacific and the East time.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, I think like like for me, the episodes are gonna premiere like somewhere like at 3 in the morning, and for you, I think it's gonna be like for 1 in the morning or something.
yeah, yeah. We're a
So
little bit earlier, so
yeah,
yeah,
but the
we get an
crazy
opportunity.
Yeah, but I mean, I believe you'll be fast asleep, and like for me, I mean, I'm gonna be like on my night shift, so maybe like at my work, so maybe I'm gonna have a chance if there's some quiet time. Maybe I will watch both episodes, but I kind of doubt it. But we'll see, we'll see what happens, because the way I understood it, they put it like in they put like they're gonna release the episodes in the afternoon. So,
Yeah,
which I think, like, which when you look at it, usually Disney Plus they always release episodes like at midnight. So, I
yeah.
mean, when it comes to the American time, they used to release them. They used to release them at midnight. So I think like moving Ahsoka to the 6th in the afternoon, I think like it's actually a much more wiser choice. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think one of the best things about it is it really maximizes the audience in terms of not having to stay up, and obviously the 2 episodes as well. I've been very critical about that with the MCU shows releasing 2 episodes at once. But I do think it really works, and I think that later time does bring in a lot of people who are going to be sitting on the couch. They're ready. They finish the day and then ready to watch the show. So I think it's a very smart and intelligent choice. I'm surprised it's took this long for Disney Plus to make that decision. But what a great show to start off at.
No, no, I totally agree. I totally agree. Like I think like moving the release of the episode in the afternoon, I think like it's a way more wiser choice when it comes to like the business like, and also when it comes to viewership. So I think like yeah, it's a way more smart than simply putting it at midnight. Because when you put like episodes at midnight, you have to also realize that not like this like basically a very small number of people are awake to watch like the
Yeah.
episodes at midnight. So putting in the afternoon, as you said before a few seconds ago, I definitely believe it makes a way more smarter like business like move, way more
It,
smarter
mi-
move.
it minimizes the spoiler potential as well because you've
Hmm.
got a lot of people who will wait up for that time, and then instantly put something on sort of social media. So if you follow any of them accounts, as soon as you're waking up, you know, in the
Yeah,
morning,
but the yeah,
it's
but
hit
here's the thing.
straight away.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You and I are in some deep shit because, like, when you and I, like, you're gonna be asleep, I'm gonna be on my night shift. And I highly doubt that they're gonna have time to watch all two of them like in a row. So you and I, when we wake up in at Wednesday, which is in a way it is kind of like Wednesday for us, but like if when we wake up, Twitter, Facebook, and everyone else is gonna be filled with like pictures, videos, and reviews and spoilers. Like it's gonna be literally like you and me being dropped on a minefield, literally.
Yeah, yeah. We'll be holding hands and go, "Don't look, don't look."
Yeah, exactly.
No,
Oh my god.
we don't have
But
to. We don't
anyway,
have to hold hands.
well, it depends. Depends.
It does depend.
So it depends. If you want to make it more symbolic, more affectionate when it comes to the overall jump, or just simply who gives a shit. Let's see who's gonna like hit the ground faster.
True. Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
Put a bit of put a romantic style on it. Yeah, let's move on.
anyway, so I will say this: like when it comes to the excitement and expectations, I will say this: of all the Star Wars, and I'm just talking about like the live action ones. Like of all the live action Star Wars TV shows that we had, from The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Andor, and like yeah, and now like with Ahsoka, I would say, I will say this: out of all the live action TV shows, I watched all of them, and I did have a blast with all of them. From like I said, from the Mandalorian all the way to Endor. I loved Obi-Wan. I really had a fun time like with the Book of Boba Fett, even though the show had flaws. Endor, I enjoyed Endor. Even though it's a type of Star Wars that it's not quite for me, but I still enjoyed it for what it was. I thought like what Tony Gilroy did was was really great, very creative, very like a breath of fresh air. But the show, I was really excited. Besides the Acolyte, that is coming out by the way next year, 2024. But beside the Acolyte, the show, I was really excited ever since they first announced it in the Investors Day. Ever since they first announced it, was Ahsoka. That was the show I was really excited. And when I heard that Dave Filoni is gonna not simply direct some of the episodes, but he fucking wrote all 8 episodes. He wrote the whole thing. He's gonna be the showrunner. He's gonna be behind the scenes and everything. I was like, bring it on, because like nobody can do shit with Dave Filoni's baby. Like, man, like I was like so excited. How was basically your excitement when they announced the Ahsoka TV show?
Yeah, so if you look and base it on what we've had before, I would say probably the Obi-Wan show piqued my interest a little bit more than the Ahsoka show, but not by much. I think it was the Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen sort
Yeah,
of
naturally.
bringing them back sort of naturally gravitated me towards that show. I was always intrigued by Book of Boba Fett. I was massively disappointed with that. I did fall into that market of people that were particularly frustrated with that show. Andor, I think, was a really, as you said, really great breath of fresh air. I like the style that they went with Andor, and I think it really worked for the character. But Ahsoka was up there. I grew up watching the Clone Wars very early on very early on Saturday mornings, and that was the show. Like that was the show. My dad watched them with me before I used to go and play football. The Clone Wars movie, I was 6 when that came out, so I was that perfect age where I was just like getting into like Star Wars, and my family have always been big film fans. So any chance I could sort of get to watch a big movie like the Clone Wars was so, and Ahsoka was always a massive part of that. And I think I looked at it more of what she did with Mandalorian. She did a really, really good job with that Rosario Dawson, who obviously plays Ahsoka. I think the way that her character was portrayed in that show, she really did shine in a lot of the episodes. within that, whether it was in the Mandalorian season 2, whether it was in Mandalorian season 2.5, as we like to call it, in sort of in the middle of Book of Boba Fett. So for me, I think what I've seen from the character has excited me. I think when it piqued my interest, when I was like, okay, when is this coming out? Was that first trailer? I think the first trailer for me, that's where it blew me away. That's what got me excited, and then I think since then it's always been that sort of easy sort of gravitating of, okay, we've got Ahsoka now. Ahsoka's coming out. I think Star Wars have had a great year with obviously the Bad Batch season 2 right at the beginning of the year. I think really shined. But obviously, I know that's animated. So, but I think a Mandalorian season 3 obviously as well. I had a few problems with that, but overall I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I think Star Wars has had a really good year. So I won't stop with this show.
Even though I will say this, like outside the Bad Batch, because this is an animation, so outside Star Wars, the Bad Batch season 2, which I thought like it was a really great new season and loads of fun, really interesting like stories and everything. Even though I will say this, like a lot of people will actually kind of like disagree with us, saying like like, oh, Star Wars like had a really good year. I don't think so. Like with the all the Mandalorian season 3 fiasco. If you know what
Yeah,
I'm talking about and everything.
of
But
course.
like still like I mean I said that before, like in the when we did the review for season
Yeah, of
3.
course.
I already said that even though like the Mandalorian did had like season 3, they had like some like flaws and like some moments when you're thinking like okay, can we like go a little bit faster, like can we like wrap it up and all
Yeah,
that. uh I still like enjoyed the I still like enjoyed the season for what it was. I really did. Even though you can kind of see that Dave Filoni was not that much present in that season, because like he was doing Ahsoka, as we're gonna see like in 2 days. So that's also something you will notice. But overall, I will agree with you that the Star Wars was like had a really good start when it comes to the year of 2023. And but I will say this, like, okay, so with the first teaser trailer they came out like for Ahsoka, a Star Wars celebration in London. Uh, okay, that picture interest overall. You're right. That's right, right?
yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay. When you watched the official trailer, like, did it pique your interest even more?
Not really, because I was just looking forward to it anyway. It was just another trailer. Like I feel like, and that's just a general conversation we can have about the amount of trailers that do come out. I'm
Mm,
always very intrigued by what the first trailer does, because if the first trailer gets your interest going, it maintains. There's not a lot of trailers that make me go. The teaser trailer, I enjoyed it. The next one, no, I didn't. As soon as you've got my interest with one, you're sorted, and that was just my general sort of feeling. I just thought this is just an extension of what I've seen previously, and I'm looking forward to it. So it definitely didn't lose my interest. It just maintained the same because I know about this character. Obviously, what I've seen of her, previously, the fact that now her own show has got me excited. It was just sort of a maintaining of counting down the days, making sure that this show is as perfect as it could be. And you mentioned Dave Filoni there. The the guy is Star Wars through and through. And that's what excites me more than anything, is that these filmmakers and people involved in these projects are very passionate, people in terms of their product. That really is great to see, because what we're seeing at the moment with the strikes and stuff like that. Not getting into
yeah.
that, of course. It's not what we're talking about. This guy has really, you know, shined through, as many other people has, as people who love their product, want to do this as well as it can be. And I think that guy deserves full props. And I think a lot of people will notice that once Ahsoka's done.
Yeah, I mean, before I go into the Dave Filoni part, where you and I were that you were talking about right now, because there's a lot of stuff that I that I wanted to say, but like before that, no, I'm like on board with you. Like when they first announced that Ahsoka's gonna have is gonna get like her own show, I was like really excited to see like what this is gonna be about, and of course when I heard which of course was naturally because Dave Filoni is the one who created the character in the Clone Wars, so of course it's gonna be the one in charge of the show. But like when he was like on board, and also when I heard that he wrote all the episodes and that he's gonna direct like some of them and everything, like I was like, that even more, I was like on board. Usually when they announce like, oh, like this actress been cast in Ahsoka, this actress, this actor, this actress, this actor. When it comes to actors being like casted in a TV show, that usually doesn't get too much of my attention, because like
Yeah.
that's just simply like those are just simple news, until like I actually see them on the screen. But when I saw those trailer, like the teaser trailer, blew me away. It made me more and more excited. But the official trailer, like the second one they released, I was like, that's the one that really made me hyped up for Ahsoka, because not only we get a little bit of what the story is gonna be, but like we saw a little bit more of Thrawn. We saw like a little bit more of like may he rest in peace, like Ray Stevenson's character, like Balin Skull, Shin Hati, played by Ivana Sakno. Like we saw Harrison Dula, we saw Sabine, we saw like Ahsoka. I was like so surprised, just like even when I saw him in the teaser trailer, I was so surprised to see fucking Hugh Yang back for Ahsoka, because I didn't saw that droid ever since the Clone Wars. Like I haven't seen like since those episodes like with the younglings, if you remember which ones I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
I remember.
Yeah, so when they were like going after their kyber crystals, and they were like in this like iced like Jedi temple and everything, well, frozen Jedi temple
Yeah.
and all that, like I didn't saw him since that time, so I was like really surprised that we got him as well. Also like fucking David Tennant like returning to voice him again, which is also incredible. But overall, my excitement for Ahsoka was like really, really big. Now, there's one thing I
Can I,
want to
can
say about. Go ahead.
Yeah, can I just sort of issue a question to you, because I think this is something that you obviously you mentioned about Dave Filoni, and his role in writing it and stuff like that, and that's all great, and I'm really really pleased that he's doing it as of course are you. Do you think him? I'm trying to word this in the best possible way. Do you think him writing the show shows that he wants it done right? Like almost he doesn't trust anybody else to come in, and because he loses that control, or do you think he just wants to do it because he can? Because I'm just intrigued by the people that do that. It's like, right, I want this done right, and so I will write it. So I don't know whether it feels very much like he's got that feeling of, let me make sure that this is correct.
Well, first and foremost, I will tell you this. First and foremost, I mentioned before, like Dave Filoni, he's the one who created Ahsoka Tano. He's the one who created the
Yeah,
character. And also to give you a little bit of information, everyone who wants to use Ahsoka Tano in some other projects, they have to ask Dave Filoni's permission to use
yeah,
her in whatever capacity they want. There is nothing going on when it comes to the Ahsoka Tano's character without him knowing. Nothing. Like
yeah.
like he literally is the protector of the character. So that's number one.
As he
And of
should be,
course,
as he should
yeah,
be.
yeah, and I think like for me personally, I think like it makes sense that he's the one who's gonna write all the episodes. Because first and foremost, Dave Filoni also proved like not simply through like the Mandalorian, but like even like through animation, the guy is a great storyteller. Okay,
Yeah,
like the guy is a great storyteller. Like not only that he directed some of the episodes of Clone Wars and Rebels, not to, but he also wrote like so many episodes, like I said, the Clone Wars, Rebels, and even Tales of the Jedi. Like I mean,
yeah.
um, like he wrote almost all the episodes, not all of them, but like most of them. Like he wrote, and you can see his touches when you see an episode where that he wrote. You can see his hand in it, like from the emotions, the dialogue, the characters, like the arcs. Like you can see was him.
Every
So yeah.
everybody that everybody everybody that passed over that Tales of the Jedi show was a little bit silly to do so, in my opinion. Like that show was incredibly, you know, written and really well animated, and all that was just, yeah, it was a great show. I watched it as a very casual fan, and then I rewatched it again as just thinking about this in just so intelligent way. And even though Ahsoka's um, episodes, I think, were the weaker ones, because I thought Qui-Gon Jinn's story was fantastic. Not quite Count Dooku. I'd apologize. Count Dooku's like turn into being a Sith was so cool. Like, so for me, yeah, it was a really, really great show. I absolutely love that show. So
I will
yeah,
say
no,
this.
it's very well.
I would say this before we see all the 8 episodes of Ahsoka. I consider Tales of the Jedi. I think like I consider it right now as like Dave Filoni's like finest work.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I
I con-
100% agree with that.
yeah, I mean again, like the guy was like behind Clone Wars, Rebels, Tales of the Jedi, and also he did Bad Batch as well, and all of that. Clone Wars season 7 and everything. But like I consider right now before Ahsoka, I consider Tales of the Jedi his finest achievement that he did, because what he did, not just with the Ahsoka part, but like with the Count Dooku storyline, that part was like the best.
Fantastic.
So my excitement for Ahsoka, and again, answering to your question, why is it good? Like Dave Filoni wrote all the episodes? Yeah, because like he's the guy. I mean, I will say this: like I don't try, I don't want to try to insult all the other directors and people who are like Star Wars fans, but like Dave Filoni is the one who has the biggest Star Wars knowledge out of all of them. Like he
Yeah.
knows continuations, like he can connect every dot, like he knows like what was going on in this particular era, and what this character was doing, how where this is going, like he knows everything in a way, so like I mean, there's a reason why on Twitter and people around they saying in Filoni we trust. There's a reason
Yes.
why they're saying in
That
Filoni we
is
trust.
funny. That makes me laugh at this. That is good.
Yeah, or even like some people are saying, like Dave Filoni is our last hope for Star Wars. The ones who were like negative about like the Mandalorian, Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Book of Boba Fett, and all that. Like all the Disney Star Wars. Like Dave Filoni is our last hope. Like when it comes to like bringing what Star Wars really is. So oh my god, like there's so many crazy shit going on when it comes to Dave Filoni, but those two are the ones that really make me laugh. But I will say this: when I was watching those
That's
trailers
good.
and TV spots, I was like, Dave Filoni must have like a one hell of a time getting pissed off. I'm really
Yeah.
I'm really yeah. Now, let me tell you why I'm saying he must have been like pissed off, because Dave Filoni hates putting trailers. He hates
Really.
uh yeah, he hates putting trailers. He hates putting TV spots because like he hates like sharing spoilers. S- like seriously, if the guy was in charge of like everything Lucasfilm, I think like he wouldn't release any trailer whatsoever.
Which makes sense. Which does make sense. And I mentioned about the other two trailer things, and it sort of leans into that a little bit. Like, you know, when you watch a lot of stuff like we do, like movies and TV shows and things like that, like the fact we watch it so often, you do sort of feel like, okay, we're picking up things now that we probably shouldn't do. Like, and it annoys me, and it frustrates me when it's like teaser trailer, official trailer, final trailer, and you're like, right, that's it now. Like, just leave it, because it gets to the point where you do feel like you watch it. But I think Ahsoka's done very, very well, because I think the two trailers that we've got, teaser or official, you feel like there's still something to hide. There's still something, that will really excite fans and keep people talking. You
Oh,
don't want things being
definitely.
revealed before you even watch it. And I think that falls under a lot of people's issues.
Yeah, but also here's the thing, because that's something I noticed, especially when you're watching like a Mandalorian trailer or the Book of Boba Fett trailer, for example, or even Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer. I've noticed that for those shows now, Andor, they have shown scenes in the trailers that also happened like in the like last episodes. But the Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, they show you scenes from like the first 2 or either first 3 episodes,
I was just
and
going to
nothing
mention that. Yeah,
yeah, and nothing after that. So that's why I think like everything that we saw in Ahsoka, I'm gonna go on a limb here. I'm not gonna say is everything in the first 2 episodes. I'm not saying that, but like I'm gonna say everything that we saw is either in the first 3, and I'm going as far as saying maybe even the first 4. That's how far I'm gonna go, because I know usually, because sometimes they can show something that could appear at the end, but like most of the time it's very risky because of spoilers. So I think like Ahsoka, what Ahsoka showed, I think was like either the first 3 or the first 4 episodes.
no, I agree. I agree.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like so overall, I'm really happy that Dave Filoni, which of course I mean, again, it makes no fucking sense that someone else will like handle this project, except him. Of course he's gonna be the one who's gonna handle it, But like, I'm really happy, that he finally got his wish come true. I mean, let's be honest. Ahsoka is basically Rebels season 5, basically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Continuing it
Yeah,
on.
yeah, because everyone will tell you, even like Rosario Dawson. I think I don't know if Dave Filoni actually said that, but I know Rosario Dawson said in an interview or in a magazine. I'm not quite sure, but basically she did say that the Ahsoka is basically Rebels season 5. Which when you look at the trailer, it makes sense. It makes sense. It's kind of like a season 5. But like in live action.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then obviously it's got to deal with things that we've already seen from her in The Mandalorian and Boba Fett, because of apparently that all 3 of them shows link in some way. I think it's potentially Ahsoka because she's been part of all 3. I don't think we'll have a Boba Fett or a Mandalorian show up, even though it's sort of set in that time. In sort of say in the timeline per se, because like you said, because it's so heavily linked to Rebels season 5, continuing that on that for that fandom. I don't think chucking a Mandalorian and Boba Fett will help the show at all. I don't think it will hinder it, mainly because those characters are that popular. But I think there's opportunities for a Boba Fett season 2, a season 4 of The Mandalorian. Now we know there is going to be a a season 4 rather than a movie. Leave them alone. You can connect them in some way if you want to, but for me, I wouldn't pretend. I wouldn't do that at the moment, and that's where my not frustrations, but I think little things that like, oh, we can see Mandalorian and Boba Fett. No, take it for what it is. What the show is at the moment is a really, great, looking show. It's got really great positive signs, as we've mentioned. So let's focus on exactly why we're getting an Ahsoka show, rather than trying to bring everything in. Go, you're going to give us that. You're going to give us this. Just slow down, focus on what the show is actually trying to do, and I think it's doing a lot positive.
Yeah, definitely. Because just from the trailers that you see, just from the trailers that we saw, like you can definitely see that there's an actual story in it. Like that there's actually like let me put it this way, there's like an actual agenda, so to speak.
Yeah,
Behind like these trailers, like you can definitely feel like Dave Filoni and the crew, they know where this is going. Like they like everything is set, which also makes me think we're not gonna have I mean, I believe at least, like we're not gonna have a filler episode in Ahsoka. I think like like everything is gonna go like from A to Z, like very easily when it comes to story wise. I mean, what do you think?
I don't. I agree. I don't think there should be filler episodes in an 8 episode season anyway. Like we spoke about the Bad Batch season 2, they had 16. Was it 16 episodes?
Yeah, each
Like,
season 1 and season 2, they had 16 episodes.
yeah, so you could afford to do that because that's like double. That's like double the episodes. Whilst I liked a lot of the filler episodes, I know a lot of people were massively critical of that, and I was just like, they can afford to do it. 8 episodes is too short when you're dealing with all of the stuff, on the consequences of Rebels. Let's not feel like you need to put a filler episode in, especially as well the fact that we're having 2 episodes in in the first sort of week, in sort of the first week slot, you already feel I feel like you're looking at the show and going, it needs a bit of momentum after the 2 episodes. They're not going to slow that down with, yeah, here's a filler, or here's the Mandalorian 3.5. Like, it's not necessary. It wasn't necessary in Boba Fett either. I hope they learn from their mistakes, and I think they will, because it's Ahsoka's show. It's got its own things to deal with, so let's deal with that one.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. Which again, even for me, I don't think like. I mean, I'll repeat myself. Like, I don't think we're gonna get filler episodes in this one, and no, I don't feel like we're gonna have like a Mandalorian 3.5, like we did in like we did with 2.5 in the Book of Boba Fett. I don't think we're gonna have this kind of moments. Although I'm not gonna say they're. Although I'm not gonna gave up on some chances for like the Mandalorian actually appearing in Ahsoka. I'm not gonna give away those chances, because there could be some possibilities that the Mandalorian could appear, but again, small chances, and the reason why I'm still kind of like giving it some kind of like small amount of hope is because the everything is set in this kind of like sort of Mandoverse. Basically, everything
Yeah,
is connected, and everything is setting up this upcoming Star Wars movie that Dave Filoni is going to direct, which the way how he said it is going to be called Heir the Empire. You know,
yeah. Yeah, no,
you know.
it won't hinder the show if Mandalorian turns up, but I don't think it's very necessary, and that's my sort of a feeling. And it's like, if we do, that's great, and it makes sense. It's not this big shock or big surprise. Like you said, we're expecting it a little bit, but for me personally, you don't need that to be the entire focus. I hope he doesn't take anything away from this Ahsoka show, because, like you said, it's been a while since. Well, it's been a very long time since we've had anything live action from Ahsoka in terms of her own show. We're dealing with Rebels season 5, so it's let's sort of move ahead, shall we say?
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, again, if again, I'm just gonna say, if the Mandalorian doesn't appear, I mean, if Din Djarin doesn't appear in Ahsoka, I'll be totally fine with it. I'm not gonna say like,
Yeah,
oh, why didn't he show up? Wah, wah. I'm not gonna go like that, but like, I'm like, okay, fine. I mean, it would have been cool if he appeared, but like again, if Dave Filoni had no plans with him, hey, I'm totally fine with it, because it's all about Ahsoka finding Ezra and try to find and stop Thrawn. Like it's all about that. So, I get it. But also, I want to ask you. Let me ask you. Do you have, because I've seen this being a big issue today when it comes, especially when I see people, like some people talking on YouTube, but also a lot of people talking on Twitter. I want to ask you, like, do you think, like, do you find no, actually, no, wait, let me rephrase that. Let me
go
rephrase
on.
the question. Like, uh are you okay with Ahsoka TV show being just 8 episodes long?
I don't. I don't know until I watch the show. I know that might be me sort of, trying to, you know, go away from answering the question. But I feel like if we finish the show and we need more, then yes. I think 8 episodes has worked. I think if it was 6, I would 100% say more, because I think Obi-Wan was 6, wasn't it?
Yes.
And I felt like we should have had a little bit more from that. And I think it's worked for Mandalorian. At the most 10, but let's see. If it finishes up in 8 and it's perfect, yeah, let's do it. Um, but if we come to sort of the end of the show and it's sort of feel like we need more, that's when I think it struggles. And that's when I think you've got to be careful. So I'm most definitely intrigued by the 8 episode format. I think it's worked in so many occasions. So I wouldn't say it's a concern at the moment. My biggest concern is that when you get to the end of the 8 episodes and you've got a lot of things unanswered, that's when it gets concerning. Like, I'm going to make a comparison to like Secret Invasion. So Secret Invasion, which I know is an MCU show, but that was 6 episodes. I wanted 8. I wanted 8 or 9. Like, I know we haven't spoken about this in any sort of capacity about the Secret Invasion show. I know we didn't message each other, but at the end of the sixth episode, I was like, just can we have 2 more? So, but I thought 6 episodes would have worked for a Secret Invasion show. Keep it really compact and really sort of have that forward momentum. For me, let's see exactly the content of Ahsoka, whether it finishes on a great sort of moment, and then that might change my decision. When we do the review, that's when we'll talk about that. Bring that question up again.
Yeah. I get you. You know, I mean, okay, Secret Invasion, like almost every single episode, I think it was like around 50 minutes to like 45 minutes
Yeah.
long. Every single episode. So I felt like, 6 episodes. I felt like, okay, with that kind of timing, I felt like, okay, it might work. If there's some kind of that's the timing, but like again, this, I know this is Marvel, but like for me personally, I would have reworked Secret Invasion from the beginning. I would have like
I don't even
I would
blame you. Like, there's a part of me where I agree with you in so many ways that I want me and you to go and sort it out. Like, in so many ways. Like, that was, I mean, if my full thoughts are on my review, it wasn't a happy review. Let's just say it wasn't a happy review.
I mean, look, okay, at least like look, at least like he was present the whole time as the villain, at least.
Let's continue with Ahsoka. Let's continue with Ahsoka.
Yeah, it's better because like we will lose our path that way. We will definitely
I think we already have.
Okay, like, because that is like Din Djarin. If he would look at us, he would definitely say, "This is not the way." Oh my god!
Let's get back on the way with the next topic.
Yes, let's back on the way. Anyway, so now I have a list here of the directors that they're going to direct like the episodes of Ahsoka, and I do have to say, like the show is really stacked with like really great directors, like great choices. Like, for example, now Dave Filoni, he did say that he directed several, and when we say several, I meant just 2. Now Dave Filoni is gonna direct the first one, which it makes sense, because he's trying to like create some ground, like some sort of like gonna give us an idea where Ahsoka is going. So it makes sense that he's gonna start. Then Steph Green is gonna direct like number 2 and 3. Steph Green, I think like she also directed a little bit in Daredevil, like some episodes, like because I
think she did, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I think like she directed some really great episodes in Daredevil. So I'm really curious to see what she's gonna do. Then we have Peter Ramsey jumping to another Star Wars project. The guy who brought us Across the Spider-Verse. I mean, come on. Well, one of the directors. We had 2 directors.
We did.
Yeah. Then we have episode 5, Dave Filoni again. And I have so many ideas, so many theories what episode 5 is going to be all about.
That's interesting though, because that's interesting as well, because obviously we've spoken massively about Filoni, obviously in this live stream already. Don't you think it's interesting the fact that we've had, like, he's doing episodes 1 and 5, because 1 started it all off. I think 5, I I'm very intrigued by that because that might be something just a bit big. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's almost sort of like, let me handle five. Like, let me handle what exactly is happening in five. Like, that gives me an impression. That gives me an idea that's something big.
I mean, that gives you an idea that there might be some really juicy surprises in episode 5.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, he's got to deal
it
with it.
makes you realize, oh, I'm definitely gonna take episode 5. Like, there's so much shit I wrote in that. Like, oh, I'm not gonna let anyone direct that episode but me. Oh,
Yeah.
and also Rosario Dawson did say that her favorite episode was episode 5 in Ahsoka.
Yeah.
So
So it's got some
we
juice on
might
it.
be, yep, we might get some hot stuff on episode 5. And I have some ideas and theories what. Now episode 6 is gonna be Jennifer Getzinger. She's the one I'm not quite familiar with.
She's probably done some of the best stuff. Like, she directed episodes for Mad Men and Westworld, so a lot of really
Wait, she did Westworld?
prestigious TV show. Yeah, she directed a few episodes for Westworld, so like that gets me excited because that was a just absolutely brilliant show, and so was Mad Men as well. Yeah, she directed 2 episodes in season 3, so that was like,
Wow.
yeah,
Now,
she did some stuff with Jessica Jones as well. So
wow.
yeah,
Okay, so she's a big shot basically.
yeah, sounds it.
Okay, so in episode 7, now this also caught my interest. Geeta Patel from House of the Dragon. Like, I watched House of the Dragon, and her episode is like one of my favorites.
Yes,
I'm
yeah,
really,
I recall it. Yeah,
and she's
she did
directing like,
3.
yeah,
She
3
did.
episodes.
She did 1 in season 2, and then she's back for House of the Dragon season 2. So
Yeah, I know she's gonna be
she'll
back
do 3
for.
in total.
Yeah, so I know she's gonna be in season 2. She's gonna return, but I also know she was in season 1, and her episodes like wait, did she direct like 1 or more?
She did 1.
Okay, yeah, I think like she did 1, because I remember her name from the credits. I do remember her name,
Yeah,
and like that episode she did was really good. I really like her style.
She directed an episode in season 3 of Runaways as well, the Marvel show. I'm not sure if you've seen that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know she was in that as well. And of course, we have the return of the director that I always butcher his last name. I always butcher him.
Just try.
Uh, and again, he's gonna direct the finale, so it's gonna be awesome, action packed, basically. Rick Famuyiwa. Famuyiwa. I always butcher his last name.
Do you know what? That's quite acceptable, I think.
I always butcher his last name. Oh my god! But like, this guy directed one of the really great episodes in The Mandalorian, like all together. So I'm really happy that Dave Filoni is gonna bring him on board on Ahsoka as well. And I will say even this, like, this director's list basically besides Dave Filoni, the other directors, like, it really gets me excited for Ahsoka. Like this, some really top tier list.
Well, he was a producer on The Mandalorian as well.
Yep.
He also directed 6 episodes across all 3 seasons of The Mandalorian. In season 1, he had 2. In season 2, he only did The Believer, chapter 15, and then he did 3 in season 3. As you mentioned, obviously, that incredible finale, that last scene, which we could only speak positive about because that was unbelievable, that last scene.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, undoubtedly. But also, there's one thing that made me so excited for Ahsoka, and that is the composer Kevin Kiner is gonna do the soundtrack for Ahsoka. The guy who did Clone Wars, who did Rebels, like, oh my god, like. I said before, and I said again, when John Williams retires, he should be the one to continue his legacy with the soundtrack. Kevin Kiner,
Yeah, no,
because
100%, 100%. Yeah,
because
but
he take one of the things. Sorry, one of the things I love about Kevin Kiner is that he takes the like traditional classic Star Wars themes and adds something on his own on them. Like, it makes you like a little bit like nostalgic, but at the same time he adds something else, a little like as he spices up like those soundtracks and makes it something like more interesting or more better, like and I mean, oh my god, like I'm so excited that he's gonna do the soundtrack of Ahsoka, and I cannot wait to see his work, because one of the things is definitely I'm gonna enjoy watching the episode, the fucking episodes, is the song, is the soundtrack of Kevin Kiner.
yeah, the soundtrack's massively important to Star Wars. It's massively important in modern sort of cinema and projects. But I always feel like I always pick up on the music of franchises like Star Wars and James Bond as being almost, a necessity. The sound work in The Mandalorian in particular is so good in terms of improving this character in many ways. I think in the directors though, just coming brief onto that, somebody that is missing for me, Bryce Dallas Howard. I wish she had something in it. I
uh
wish I just. It was a little thing, and it wasn't. It's not a necessity that she needs to be in. I just like when I saw the directors list, I thought, you know, Bryce Dallas Howard would have been good, but it's fine. We've got some really well known directors and very prestigious directors as well. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's a bad thing. I just think it would be nice. That's all I'm saying. It'd be nice.
no, I totally get you. I mean, Bryce Dallas Howard, like, not only she's a great actress, but she also proved herself to be like a formidable director. So like her addition to Ahsoka, I wouldn't say no. I would never say no to that. But the thing, like, that the problem was that John Watts picked her up before Dave Filoni for Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, which that's another show I'm so looking forward to.
Yeah, and I think like for Skeleton Crew, I just wanna jump on it like just a little bit, because it looks like, because Disney had one of his meetings for like the release dates for 2023, and and Skeleton Crew wasn't on it, so it looks like Skeleton Crew could be delayed.
Yeah, well, it's something has to go. Something has to go in terms of all this writing strike. So we'll have to see exactly what comes of this in the next few sort of weeks. But we've still got Ahsoka, and that's all that matters.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I said it before. I don't give a shit for all the things that gets delayed. The only thing I don't want it to get delayed is fucking Ahsoka. Like, that's the thing I'm waiting for. That's the thing I'm really excited. Other than that, you can go and sort off. Like, I don't give a shit about everything else.
I like how you just went, yep. And then I love the hand action as well. That was very quick on my screen, by the way. No, that was very quick on the screen. That was brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, that's basically my my own opinions about like like other possible delays and other delays that already been done. Because like Ahsoka is the thing that matters. Other than that, I don't care.
There we go.
To be honest. Now,
Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. We're all done.
yeah, exactly. Hello. See you later. Anyway, so, and there's another thing I'm really curious to see what you think about it. Is because because that is a complaint that people had, I think, like ever since the Mandalorian season 1, and that is the episode's length. Because as well as I do that, now I'm talking about like Star Wars TV shows, not like Marvel. That's a different story. But
Yeah,
I mean, Marvel had the same problem, but like right now we talk about Star Wars. So
yes, we will.
basically, sometimes episodes were like 50 minutes, sometimes 40 minutes, sometimes like half an hour, sometimes 35, 32. Some of them I even saw they were like 28, 29 minutes long. When it comes to live action. So, they always differ, the episode's length, and it looks like for Ahsoka as well, because it looks like the first one is going to be like 52 minutes, episode 2, 43 or 42, and then like
Yeah,
episode 3 is gonna be like 35 minutes with the credits together. It's gonna be
right.
35. So I mean, I was like, okay, like, I get why. I mean, I kind of get the idea why episode 1 and 2 would be a little bit longer, because they're like setting the stage where the story is going or could go. I kind of get it. Basically, they're kind of like trying to marinate a little bit, in,
Yeah,
in
yeah.
a way. But honestly, when it comes to like, I never honestly had any problems with episode lengths. I mean, maybe once or twice ever since like the beginning of the Mandalorian. But like, I want to ask you, like, did you always have any problems with the episode lengths?
Yeah, a little bit in certain shows, and especially with obviously the 6 episodes. That's why I don't think 8 episodes are going to be that bad. Because if you look at like 8 episodes of that runtime for between the gap of 40 to 50 minutes, you're going to have a lot of content in there. You're going to have a lot of opportunity to really expand this world and sort of keep going. So for me, I don't have any issues with this. I think if you have a shorter episode, you know, shorter episode, make sure you have more episodes in a season. That's where I think you can't have. It's got to contradict itself. Either have sort of more episodes and shorter, or have lesser episodes but longer in time. So that's how I feel about that. I wouldn't say that the episode length would be an issue. As soon as I saw between the 40 and 50 minutes, I thought that's what it deserved. Like, just trying to make a comparison with the Arrowverse, like every episode of the Arrow was 40 minutes, and you got a lot from that episode, and that's like there was like 23 episodes in a season, which was crazy. But you know, it works because every episode feels like an event. It feels like a sort of extravagant sort of time, and it really does get you excited every time you've got a new episode. Is we've got so much heavy content. So no, I've not got no issues about the 8 episodes. I think the episode length is brilliant, and I think it will really work and make the shows even more exciting than what we've had previously.
So you don't have any problems like when sometimes episodes are like one episode is like 40 minutes, the other one is like 31, half an hour, or 35 minutes.
No,
Like
but no,
you
because
don't
I
have.
think it works the show. So if the story drags a bit too long, then it's going to ruin the episode. Like, how many times do people review? This is why I don't do this on my channel, where like everyone does episode reviews, and they were like, and the whole focus is how long is it? Like, it just like I feel like people focus on that a bit too much. If it's a good, why are we forcing something? You know, so for me, I think the difference of episode lengths actually works sometimes in a good way because it allows the episodes to feel, either really energetic or, fast paced and really enjoyable to watch. So I think a lot of people need to focus on it not being a number, more of the case of what do we get from the episode? What do we get from,
Yeah,
the content rather than the episode length?
yeah. I mean, honestly, I definitely agree with you on this one. Like, I really do because, I mean, I'll be honest with the episode lengths. There were like one or two moments ever
I'm not
since
sure
like.
whether it's me, but we can't hear you. I'm not sure
Can
whether
you
it's
hear me?
me.
Can you hear me? Wait. Can you hear me? Okay. You're mute. Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, your volume is a little bit low, but I can hear you. Excuse me, my dear Force users, we have some technical difficulties.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, I'm terribly sorry, chaps. Looks like we have some technical difficulties. But don't worry, my fellow Force users, the Shadow Council will return in a brief moment. So just simply focus, patience, and everything will be sorted out. Don't worry about it. Mm. Yeah, but while he's repairing, on his. Ow! And looks like, my fellow Force users, Shadow Council members, we are back. Can you hear me?
All fine.
Okay, great. So I was just gonna say. So basically, I was just starting to say like what you asked me, like when it comes to episode lengths. Like honestly, I never had any problems. There was only one time it kind of bothered me a little bit. It was the episode 3 of the Mandalorian season 3, where Doctor Pershing was.
Yeah, that was one of mine.
Yeah, so that was the only time the I was like, we're concentrating too much on him. So that was the only time when the length bothered me, like bugged me. But honestly, when it comes to story wise, later on, I accepted it for what it was. I accepted it.
Yeah,
You
no.
know, I, and honestly, like I said, episode lengths, like I never had any problems like with any shows. Any shows, I never had any problems. So the only thing I'm just hoping is that that the execution of the story works. That's all I'm hoping.
Exactly. You gotta make sacrifices. People have to make sacrifices sometimes. It's like exactly the episode you mentioned, episode 3, The Mandalorian. I watched it. I had little issues with it, but then I just thought I might be absolutely kicking myself if that episode becomes the most significant episode of the season. So don't worry about it. Just you've got to take the season as a whole. That's why when I see people do episode to episode, it frustrates me because that's your opinions very much in the moment following the episode. Let's have a look at the grand scheme of things. Let's see how it all links. The filler episodes, like we mentioned, could be very significant in a couple of weeks, and you'd be regretting your points there. So that's what I think. But no, like we said about the episodes in terms of the length, I think sometimes you've got to make sacrifices if the episodes work, or if the episodes have got so much great content in, why add an extra 10 minutes on for nothing? So that's how it sort of feels very much to me.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I totally feel with you and everything. So, like, people saying like, oh, the first one is like 52 minutes. That's great. Then like the second one is like 40, like 45 or like 43, something like that. Now, which one of it, this is also okay. But when people saw like, 35, oh my god, like without the credits, that's 31 minutes. Like, oh my god, here we go again. But the thing is, like, I remember like one interview with Dave Filoni when there were like a Star Wars celebration in London when he was explaining the length of the episodes. He explained it like that some episodes will be longer and some of them like will be shorter because it all depends on the content. Like if they try to like
Yeah.
make the story go a little bit faster, of course they're gonna try to make the episode shorter. But if it's like something important, something like to kind of like extend a little bit, then the episodes will be longer. Especially when you have an episode that is like filled with the action sequences. Of course you're gonna like make it shorter. You're not gonna try to make it longer. You're not gonna try to make another version of like Obi-Wan versus Anakin on Mustafar that lasts like 3 hours.
Yeah. No, like you said, it's got to make sense. It has to make sense. So don't be massively caught up with that. And the fact as well that he's explained it, he's aware of people's negativity towards that issue and go, actually, guys, we're doing this to make the show better. So just take it as it is. And that's why I think people need to just slow their roll, Just let it happen. Let it run its natural course, because you could have them episodes be the best, but they're short. Longer episodes doesn't mean better episodes.
Exactly. I'm totally on board with you when it comes to that. Also, like one of the reasons
Good.
why I'm really excited about the Ahsoka TV show is, like, even though, like I said, I enjoyed, I really loved, the Mandalorian. I really enjoyed Andor. I had a blast with the Book of Boba Fett, and of course, I am excited to see the Skeleton Crew and all that. But like the two shows that I'm really excited. One of them again is Ahsoka. The other one is upcoming, The Acolyte. The main reason why I'm most excited for those two shows than the rest of them is because my main reason why I love Star Wars is because of the Force, Jedi, Sith, and lightsabers. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that the Empire.
It's like the Fourth Commandments. This is what you need for Star Wars. Like, it's like it's necessary. It's so key.
Yeah, I mean, wait a minute. Well, Star Wars is not just simply Jedi and Sith. It could be also rebellions. It could be smugglers. It could be bounty hunters. It could be, Mandalorians. Yeah, sure. Okay. Yes. All of that is part of Star Wars. That's for sure. But that's not my jam. Okay, like my jam is Jedi's, Sith, dark side, light side, the Force, lightsaber duels. That's the thing I love. So like that for me is Star Wars, because let's be honest, okay? When you watch the original trilogy or the prequels or even the sequel trilogy, when you watch them, what is the thing that people get excited about? Lightsabers. That's the thing that makes them excited, not the blasters, not the Death Star or the fucking Imperial uniforms or X-wings, like the lightsaber. That's the thing that makes Star Wars fans excited, not other things. I'm sorry to say this, it is how it is. So, and that's the my favorite part of Star Wars, So that's one of the reasons I just wanted to put it up, put myself out to say why I'm excited about Ahsoka.
No, that is what draws people in. Like that's what it is. It is, and also, and I'm sorry, you might take me off this stream in a minute, but Star Wars, in terms of it's very simple. Star Wars, the general storyline of Star Wars is simple. They believe they're doing right. They believe they're doing right, but we view them as good. It's good versus evil, and they're fighting continuously to control innocent people who are living vastly across the galaxy. That's what Star Wars is. And then everything else gets woven to make this franchise one of the most successful of all time, the most important in so many people's lives. But you've got to understand that it is a very simple story, and that's what they're going to lean into. Every single project is this battle between good and evil. These characters, whether they're powerful or not, whether they have such a significant role in there or not, every show has had a good and a bad character, and they're always at odds, and that's what works. It's what works in Andor. What works in Obi-Wan, all the Disney Plus shows, the animated stuff, the Skywalker saga, everything that works within Star Wars is about the fight between good and evil, and we're going to see it here again. So there's no need to go, well, there's this, there's that. It's lightsabers. We all love lightsabers. We all want to own one, and that noise, by the way, for a lightsaber was fantastic. Honestly, brilliant.
oh my god! Like, I mean, first of all, it's not that difficult to do. But
I'm not going to try.
Well, you can try in private, But the thing is, actually, I will say this. Yeah, I mean, you can try in private. Like you can, when you turn off the camera, you lock your doors and just simply, you try to imagine you have a lightsaber in your hand, and basically, you go. Just
I would do it.
Go with the flow.
I would do it private. I would do it in private. You'll do it to all the Shadow Council fans. Very good.
Oh, no problem. But here's the thing I just want to say. Andor it doesn't have good and evil, because Andor is the only show that I've seen where it actually has a lot of gray characters, neutral characters.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, no, there is a lot.
so you could say like it's good and bad, but also it also shows characters that are like, neutral. They're like, gray characters. Like sometimes we do bad things, but we do also good things, for the right cause. So I'm just saying in Endor there's also that, but like in other shows and movies and all that, yes, it's basically good versus evil, which is not a bad thing.
It is not.
Thank you. Anyway, now speaking of good and evil, now so far when it comes to heroes and villains, so far we have from the trailers that we've seen, of course, we have Ahsoka, we have Sabine Wren, we have Hera Syndulla, we have Chopper. We also saw Mon Mothma, who, by the way, is the Chancellor of the New Republic. Well, at least this time they picked a good leader. We also have who was who we also have Hu Yang, we have Ezra, we have Balin Skull, Shin Hati, Morgan Elsbeth. She also, by the way, appeared in season 2 of The Mandalorian. And of course, we have the infamous, mysterious Inquisitor known as Marok, and of course, no one else but Grand Admiral Thrawn. So, out of all the characters that so far we have, because I can definitely see a lot more characters appearing in Ahsoka. That's definitely, because one of the things I love Dave Filoni what he does is that he always like gives you like naturally released fan service like elements. That's basically what he does. Like, he gave you like some fan service, but like they feel earned. So you were definitely going to see a lot more characters, that's for sure. But so far, of all the heroes and villains that we have, which ones, besides Ahsoka, of course, but which ones are you most excited to explore?
There's a lot, to be fair. Remind me of his name, the villain.
So basically, the villains, you have Morgan Elsbeth, the former magistrate from season 2, the episode The Jedi.
Yeah.
You have her. You have Balin Skull, this dark Jedi mercenary who survived Order 66. He went to the unknown regions and becomes a mercenary. You have his apprentice, Shin Hati. So because and of course you have the mysterious Inquisitor known as Marok.
Yeah. All the villains, really, I would say. I've always been a very big fan of the villains in terms of Star Wars. So, yeah, I think there's a very interesting sort of style that Star Wars goes with. I think Rebels is definitely a very colourful show in terms of their villains, in terms of their, colour palette in many ways of the animation style. So the fact that we're seeing that in live action is just really, really cool. I think it's really pleasing on the eye. So I would go with them, really, because I do think that all of them have that opportunity of being, really, really good villains. And the fact that we've now gone from establishing them in animated format, which is a bit easier than doing them in live action, to then obviously having it in live action, I think is really cool.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that one. Like I would say, I mean, I can't wait to see like all the characters in Ahsoka, like all of them. I really cannot wait them, but like the ones that really caught my attention, I mean, like again, like everyone else, I can't wait to see Grandma Thrawn in Ahsoka. I really cannot wait to see him in live action. But so far the characters that really made me like really caught my interest, and also like you said, I cannot wait to explore them. Well, not as much Morgan Elsbeth, not as much her, but like I'm more into like Balin Skull and his apprentice Shin Hati. Like those two are the ones that really caught my interest, to explore basically as characters, and also not to mention the mystery behind the orange lightsabers.
It's interesting that the fact that we've had, all of these sort of Star Wars projects, and it introduced some sort of like new saber or color. Like, yeah, it's quite cool. It's almost sort of like when before any of the Disney Plus shows came out, before we had this renaissance of Star Wars TV shows, like everybody would be happy with completing the set of lightsabers red,
Oh
green, blue,
yeah.
and purple. Now they need to stock up with some more, which I think is really cool. But no, that's very intriguing, and obviously the late great um, Ray Stevenson, who obviously sadly passed away and stuff like that. He
Yeah.
looks like he looks like a Sith, like he looks like a villain. Like it's just the look and the style of him, as well. I think is really cool. And then, as you said, Shin Hati, she's very mysterious and very dark, and her lightsaber looks really cool as well. So there's definitely going to be some very very cool lightsaber moments within the show, mainly because of them two just going against Ahsoka and the team, in such a cool way.
Now here's the thing. I want to ask you: do you think? Because I'm honestly, I'm really hoping that's not going to happen. Because I mean, it's a very usual, traditional plot element they use, but like, I'm really hoping it's not going to happen. I mean, I'm hoping that it doesn't happen. But do you think Shin Hati, like the apprentice of Balin Skull, because I can't see, I don't see Balin Skull to turn to the light. So do you think that Shin Hati could actually turn to the light?
I think, as you mentioned, it's a very generic sort of story. I know we touched on one of the reviews that we did. I know we've done many, and they've all been fantastically enjoyable. But I think there was we spoke about villains, didn't we? And we sort of spoke about how
Yep.
the fact that villains have an arc, and you have to make the villains look good, be good at some point. No, so I think stick to what we know, and also do something a bit different, and make sure that the villain stays the villain.
Yeah, because like I think like for me personally, I think like my theory is that I don't
It
know.
seems to be the tradition. Very, very.
I mean, it's possible, but like for me personally, I think like Shin Hati. I mean, okay, there's a possibility she could turn, but if Dave Filoni needs to bring her character like to some kind of a redemption story, then I think like he should rather do it like in the upcoming movie than
Yeah,
in the TV show. I would love like that Shin Hati, because there's no way Balin Skull will be redeemed. There's no way. I don't think he's gonna
yeah.
redeem himself. I think like he's gonna stay as a villain. But I think like Shin Hati, if they're planning to redeem her, I think I would rather prefer if they do it throughout the movie and not throughout the Ahsoka TV show. That's at least like the way how I see
Or,
it. So
or maybe just sort of tag it on the end. I'll take it on the end of the eighth episode, and like
okay,
make the
yeah,
finale.
yeah,
Like
okay,
do that,
yeah,
but like
maybe for the
don't do it on
finale.
like episode 5. Yeah, don't do it on like episode 5 where like we're hearing that it's obviously going to be the very pivotal episode. Like don't do it there, because then you've got like 3 episodes where you've got to then deal with that.
Yeah,
But no, do it at the finale and create a really cool final fight scene, and then explore that in the movie full on. But no, don't make that a plot point in like halfway through your season, because yeah, like you said, that is going to get to the point where, oh, here we go again, another villain gets justified, another villain gets redeemed. Just keep him as a villain, and if you need to do it for story sense, fine. Like I'm not a writer, I'm not a creator of a show. Like I'll leave it to the professionals. But for me, the personal sense and a fan service, let's do something different. Let's not have every villain be redeemable at some moment. I think it was the Guardians review, because we spoke about that, didn't we?
yeah,
So yeah, it was that review when we spoke about that. Like he stayed a villain throughout it, and I thought it was so great to see. Let's do that in Star Wars. Yeah,
yeah.
let's
But
sort of
there's
have
something.
a similar style.
Yeah, I mean, like I mean, look, if they remain villains all the way, look, I have nothing against it. Like I really don't. But also, like, but again, Star Wars is well known when it comes to like writing redemption arcs. So I can see Shin Hati. I can like between Balin Skull and Shin Hati, I can see like that happen more to her than him because she's young.
Yeah.
Like she's still like exploring in a way, like trying to find herself in this universe. So you know, again, if they do it, then I think like they should do it at the very finale. I don't think like they should do it like at the like somewhere in the middle or something. Like it should be at least in the
Yeah.
finale, you know, because you know, I think that should be the rightful place, you know. But again, me being a true like villain sucker, like I really hope they stay villains all the way till the end. I really,
Yeah.
really, really
Yeah,
hope
definitely.
they do. Also, speaking of like the lightsabers that we mentioned before, like in Legends, like the lightsabers, there were so many different colors. Like you had from white to green, blue, red, orange, yellow. There was like I think it was like
Purple.
rose kind of like, you know, color. There was also a black lightsaber, and I'm not talking about the dark saber. I'm talking like like actual black lightsaber, you know, which was very even Legends. It was very very rare, very very rare. You know, like so I love that basically they're bringing like different colors of lightsaber like from Legends back to canon. I'm really happy that they're doing this, you know, because even though we all love, you know, like blue, green, and red and all that, you know, like I'm really happy that they're giving us much more different colors, you know, of lightsabers, you know, not just simply like keeping the generic ones, you know. So I was really happy when they showed, you know, that Balin and Shin have a like an orange lightsaber. I really love that, you know, and Dave Filoni did say there's a secret behind why he decided to bring orange colored lightsabers. You know, like it's going to be revealed in the Ahsoka TV show, and I really cannot wait to see what the secret is going to be all about.
No, I agree. I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah, because obviously, I think it just makes the show feel like, you know, really fresh, and you know it's fine having a blue and green lightsaber, but like that's what we've grown up on. But like now, you know, the fact that obviously they linked it to Legend as well sort of saves them from going, oh, why'd you have to put in every color? But it sort of works in the Star Wars Legend. Like if you read that, you know, it references that the different colors in many ways, so it's staying really true to its source material, which I think is a win-win.
yeah. I mean, like I said, from because like before the books, before the comics, like before it was transformed into Star Wars Legends, and before it was bought by Disney, before everything, the only colors that we had was, like I said, blue, green, red, and purple. You
Yeah.
know, purple because, you know, Mace Windu, because Samuel L. Jackson, like he wanted a purple lightsaber, so he was the only one who had like, you know, a different color lightsaber back in the movies. You know, and then of course later on through Clone Wars, you know, of course, you know, we had the yellow lightsabers, which of course, you know, were the double blade lightsabers from the Temple Guards. They are the ones who had the yellow lightsabers. You know, and then of course we also introduced the white ones. You know, then of course orange ones and like red ones and so on and so forth. Like, you know, so I'm really happy they're bringing those like different colors back to canon again, as I said before. Although I highly doubt they're gonna bring the black one. I don't think they will.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
don't think so. Because she said it was that powerful, there's nobody around that I think that could
yeah, but the thing is,
justify that.
let me give you an explanation. In Star Wars, I don't think they're gonna do this in Legends, in canon, but in Legends, the black lightsaber not only was rare, but also first it was a Sith lightsaber, because like the black lightsaber usually is for like a Sith or a dark for or a dark for or a dark user, so to speak. That is like, you know, pure evil, like no compassion, no mercy, nothing. Like basically a pure evil empty shell. Like they're the ones who gained the black lightsaber, and and like those are very rare, very very rare, you know. So that's why basically the black lightsaber also entered in like kind of like a controversial like theories and everything, you know, because like it was very rarely seen. Just like for example, in the, you know, in Force Lightning for the Sith,
Yeah,
you have blue and you also have red. Like for example, blue is the uh, soft version, and the red one is like the deadliest.
Yeah, like the really nice version. Like,
Yeah, so it's kind of give you an example, so to speak. you know but anyway, so I mean, again, like when it comes to all the characters, like I said, I'm really excited to see all the rebel crew, crew members. Well, everyone except Kanan. uh but like I would love to see like all of them, in live action. I really cannot wait to see them, in general. Oh, I really hope that Zeb appears in Rebels. I really am hoping to see
so,
Zeb.
so I'm going to chuck this question to you.
Go ahead.
There is an unknown character, isn't there? There's somebody that is under a cloak that has fought Ahsoka in the trailers. Do you know who I'm referring to? There's somebody that they find that you don't see his face. You don't see their face. I'm
um
sure there was. I'm sure there was somebody that you don't see their face.
That was only the Inquisitor with the helmet.
Oh, I thought there was somebody else as well. Oh, okay, maybe not. Maybe
No,
I
no,
was.
no, no, no. It was only him. But I will say this. uh, I will say this um, that I mean, I can definitely see a lot of people getting pissed off if the Inquisitor was actually a completely new character and not someone who they were expecting to be behind that mask.
Yeah,
Because so far they give him a name, Marok. And he's also a fallen Inquisitor who turned into a mercenary. In this show. So far as I've seen, he's gonna be a completely new character. Because some people feel like, because some people thought like, oh my god, he's going to be Barriss Offee, the old friend turned rival from Clone Wars. The female Jedi
yeah,
who
yeah,
framed Ahsoka for the bomb.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So they thought like, oh, maybe Barriss Offee is this Inquisitor. But then like, you can definitely see it's a man, like from the shape. So like, no, it's not her. But a lot of people are still saying, oh, she could appear in Ahsoka. But I don't know. I mean, it's a very big gap between Order 66 all the way to Ahsoka. So I don't know if Dave Filoni decides to like bring in Barriss Offee in some capacity. I don't know how, but like if he does, good luck with him. Good luck with that. But like if he does, I really hope he has a good explanation. How did she survive all of that? I really am hoping that he does have a good explanation. But anyway, so when it comes to overall characters, even though I really am happy to explore Baylan Skoll and Shin Hati out of all of them, I still like I'm excited to see like all of them together, to be explored, and also I really cannot wait to see Elizabeth Winstead, playing Hera Syndulla. I really cannot wait to see the wife of Obi-Wan Kenobi playing Hera Syndulla. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's true. Like she's the wife of Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because Ewan McGregor, while she was filming Ahsoka, Ewan McGregor sometimes will come to the set and visit her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's so cool. I
I
love
mean
that.
that's so cute. Like she's playing Hera Syndulla, and her husband is playing Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like they're like, that's so cute. But overall, like we all that said and done. So basically, as I said before, the story, it is like Sabine and Ahsoka are searching for Ezra, but in the same time, they're trying to stop this emerging threat that coming back from the shadows to the light, to hurt the New Republic, which of course we all know is Grand Admiral Thrawn. It's him. Now, one of the things I'm really excited about Ahsoka, because it looks like it will be explored, but a little bit. One of the things I'm really excited to explore, that is the New Republic. I'm
Yeah,
really excited to see more about the New Republic in Ahsoka. I don't think I don't think the New Republic will play a big role, but whatever we got, I'll be happy with it and everything. Now, here's a question I have for you.
go on.
Now, wait a minute, you watched Rebels, right, or not?
No, but
Well,
I know a bit. I know quite a bit.
okay? Do you know how it ends?
No.
Oh my god! Because I'm gonna get to the spoiler territory right now.
Okay, that's fine. Go on. You go.
Okay, so basically, the way how the show ends, I'm talking about the TV, like the TV show finale. is basically when they liberate Lothal. Ezra Bridger. You know the character Ezra Bridger.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so Ezra Bridger sacrifices himself by basically using the Force and the Purgils, who are these like big space whales with tentacles.
Yeah, I've
You
seen
saw.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
So
seen all of that.
basically,
Yeah, I've seen all
yeah.
that.
So he grabbed them. So basically, he used the Force and through the Purgils, like they grabbed the fucking Star Destroyer, the Chimera of Grand Moff Thrawn, and with him they through hyperspace, like they basically transported themselves into the unknown regions, basically, and and through like the last scene, basically like Sabine and Ahsoka now they're going on a journey to try to find him where he is. So here's a question I have for you: do you think we're gonna see Ezra Bridger appear like at the very very end of Ahsoka, or do you think he's gonna appear a little bit earlier?
Episode 5.
Okay, just
It's
because
all,
that is.
kicking, it's all kicking off in episode 5. I think he needs. I think he needs enough time to be explored. I think putting him towards the end, I think will lose the. It all completes the mission and waits for 8 episodes to do that. And I think that is whilst that is the main point of the story and the show. I think this whole stuff about the new threat, I think will sort of be on the back burner a little bit, and it feels like it'd be like 2 different stories alongside. I think halfway through, about like I said, 4, 5, or 6 in
Huh.
that region. If we're not having, if his character doesn't get,
So wait a minute. So if I understood you correctly, you're saying that you think he's gonna appear in either 4, 5, or 6.
yeah, because it's in that sort of moment of like there's enough episodes or enough time to sort of find him and have all the sort of battles and stuff like that with this, and then they can, I think he can come into the finale and play a real part in that, and give him a really great character sort of arc within the show. So yeah, I don't think that they should wait for the full 8 episodes for him to feature.
Honestly, honestly, I have to disagree with you on this one because I think like Ezra is going to appear in the very last episode. I don't think he's gonna appear before that.
Is that
I
not
think like
disappointment though?
yeah,
Is that not
no.
disappointment?
Listen to me. Like because think about it. Like they're trying to search for Ezra, but at the same time, throughout their journey, they're gonna fight so many obstacles, which are Morgan Elsbeth, Balin Skull, Shin Hati. Balin Skull sending like the Inquisitor and he's basically his men going after Ahsoka and Sabine. Also they're gonna have like problems with some Imperial remnants, which are also gonna be connected with Thrawn. So like there are gonna be so many obstacles throughout the journey, and I think like the reason why I think Ezra Bridger is gonna appear in the very last episode, I think like that's how the show will end. I think like they're gonna find him, and I think it's gonna be like a sort of Force Awakens ending style when Rey found Luke Skywalker and Ahch-To. I think it's gonna be something.
Yeah, but that was.
I'm not saying.
I didn't like that either. So I think it was I think there's so many obstacles that yes you could create, but it's the same way with Kenobi where
No.
He had a lot of obstacles, but we still saw Vader, so he was still featured in it. And I think it was episode 3 when them two first saw each other. Like I think they have enough chance to at least see him before being reunited.
No, no, don't get me wrong. Like I don't think he's gonna appear like in just one scene at the very end and that's it. I'm not saying that. I'm saying he's going the way how I see it. He's gonna either appear at the very end of episode 7, and then he's gonna be inside the episode 8 the entire time. I think like that could. I think that way. I think he's like him being found is gonna be played, or he's gonna be found like somewhere at the very beginning of episode 8. because like first and foremost, we with the exception of
Okay.
the hologram, we never saw him in the trailers, like actually, or even like mentioning his actor. He didn't even appear in the Star Wars Celebration like cast list. Like he didn't appear in front of the entire audience at all, which also gives you another clue that he's not going to be very much present in the show. Those are all the clues
No,
why I'm saying that he will appear at the very end, like in the last episode.
no, I think they could hold something back though. So it's like they don't have to announce him because I think the overall story leans into him definitely being in at least something. So giving it a little bit earlier, I don't think would hurt it or go. Well, you lied to us.
Fair enough.
You didn't even add him in. I don't think that that's too bad. I really don't. I think that if you're gonna if you're gonna at least see him in like the earlier episodes, but him actually not be reunited, I don't think harms it at all because then you still get him sort of his face in there and it really cool. So we'll have to see what happens.
Oh, definitely. But here comes another question I have for you. When do you think we'll see Thrawn in Ahsoka? Like again, last episode or earlier?
It depends on how much he has to do.
Well,
I think, do you know what? And this might be a bit the only reason why I'm saying this, and it's very, very minimal. It's only because they're releasing 2 episodes on Tuesday, or whatever time obviously it comes out in terms of the day. 48 hours, let's go with that. End of episode 2. And only because we're having 2 episodes. So it's almost sort of like we feel like we need the episodes, and then that could be the left on a cliffhanger. I feel like one is gonna then sort of nicely link us into 2. That's why they've released it together, and then episode 2, you sort of got that like no, give us episode 3 now. I think that'd be quite intelligent. That's the only reason why I think he'll come at the beginning. But I'll be happy if we get him later on down the line, because I think then you keep the excitement level up of when are we getting him. It's whether they wait too late is my thing.
Now, here's the thing. I don't think, because a lot of people are saying, "Oh, he's gonna appear just in the very last episode," just like I said for Ezra Bridger. Now, again, as I said, Ezra Bridger appearing in the very last episode has way more bigger chances than, for example, Thrawn. I think like Thrawn. Now, here's what I think. Now, the reason why I believe he will appear earlier. Now, I don't think he's gonna appear in the first 2 episodes. I don't think he will, but he will either appear now. Now, there's just a plain guess. Okay, there's just a plain guess, because maybe that scene where you see him like turn, you actually see his face, and he's like a little bit walking in the trailer.
Yeah.
Okay, that scene, and don't get me wrong, that scene could have easily be the only one taken from, for example, the last episode 8. Maybe that was a scene from episode 8 where you will finally see him. Maybe that's true. But the way how they usually do trailers, it makes me think that he will appear earlier. But I don't. But here's the thing: how he's gonna appear. If he appears, I think it's gonna be not episode 1, not episode 2, but either at the end of episode 3 or inside episode 4. He's going to appear. Now, hear me out. The way how he's gonna appear, I think it's gonna be. If you see him like in the Flash, I think it's gonna be like in the location where he's stuck, and also that he will appear through like some kind of holograms or something. He could appear because one of my theories is that that's my theory, because one of the other my theories is that Thrawn, even though he was stuck in the unknown regions in some kind of unknown planet, I still think like he's working from the shadows, like he's trying to. Like, be in contact with other Imperial remnants. I mean, just remember, the Shadow Council in episode 7 of The Mandalorian season 3, when Captain Paleon said, Grand Admiral Thrawn's return. What if he's already in contact with Captain Paleon?
Yeah,
maybe. What if Captain Paleon was with him? What if, well, not with him, maybe, but like, what if, for example, he was already in contact with him? I mean, that could be a big possibility. So,
but I think as well, if you introduce him in the earlier episodes, you could really have this, this idea and this dynamic of all these people getting in their way, but then also he's the real problem. So it's like building blocks. It's almost like, yeah, we got past you, we got past you. Oh no, it's you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like,
But
he's the final challenge.
Yeah, but here's the thing, which is one of my predictions I have for Ahsoka, because I don't think Ahsoka will end in a very happy ending. I think the way I will end, I think it's gonna be like a bittersweet ending. I think it's gonna be a bittersweet ending, in which, for example, I will give you a little taste, which I think like Thrawn will escape the unknown regions and will return to the galaxy, but I think it's gonna return like with some kind of a fleet or something, of like an imperial with some kind of imperial remnant like fleet. Like he will return to the galaxy, like Ahsoka and Sabine, like they did find Ezra, but also in the same time they failed to stop Thrawn, and Thrawn returned to the main galaxy. So that's how I think it will end the show. That's why I say it's gonna be bittersweet, but also, here's the thing: when you have a fictional story, especially when it comes to main villains, you have from like cameo villains, you have to minor villains, you have minor supporting, major supporting, third, secondary, primary, main, major, and then you have the overarching antagonists. That's basically the category, their roles in stories. Now, the way how I see it, Balin Skull, Shin, and Morgan Elsbeth, they're the ones who are going to be the main villains.
Yeah.
But Thrawn is going to be the overarching villain, like in which like everything is leading to him. So that's why I think his presence will be limited. I don't think we're gonna see too much screen time with him.
Okay.
And that's my theory. That's what I think.
Yeah. No, that's a decent theory, to be fair.
Yeah, that's what I think. But now here's the one thing I think you will enjoy. We go to the episode 5 mystery, and why Dave Filoni is gonna direct it.
Yeah.
Now, did you watch any of the spots, the TV spots of Ahsoka?
I've stayed away from them mainly because I think the trailers were enough for me.
Okay. Now, there's been rumors from theories, and now through like Rosario Dawson's confirmation, that Hayden Christensen will return as Anakin Skywalker in Ahsoka. And there is one spot, TV spot, which Star Wars and Disney released. I'm not joking with you. I'm sorry to say this, but it's already out there. They released it, in which you hear Hayden Christensen say Anakin Skywalker dialogue to Ahsoka. I'm not kidding you. It's a new dialogue. And now the dialogue, the way how it sounds, it looks like it's going to be like a Clone Wars flashback. Now, I do think we will get Clone Wars flashbacks. With like Anakin Skywalker and a younger Ahsoka. We will definitely have flashbacks. That's for sure. But I also think that Hayden Christensen as Anakin will appear as a Force ghost as well. I think he will. I mean, stay with me, Kieran. Stay with me.
I'm here. I'm ready. I'm with you.
Can you imagine? There's a scene. I don't know where, on the ship, on the planet. I don't know. But there's a scene. You have Ahsoka, and then behind her back, you hear the words, "Hello, Snips." When you hear those words, I'm telling you, I'm gonna lose my shit. Because
you know what? It's a dream. I might crush the dream. I think that audio is flashbacks. I think his little snippet. If flashbacks is definitely going to happen, I'm sorry to say I don't think there's going to be a Force ghost. It's just a part of me. I don't know. It might be really crushing to say, but if it happens, and I'll be happily, and I'm happy to be.
Look at the cast list. Hayden Christensen is confirmed. He will return.
I know he is. I know, but I'm just saying. I think it'll be the case where it'll be flashbacks and that's it. Like
I
new
know.
dialogue, obviously, but new flashback.
Yes, but think about it. Like Ahsoka Tano, all the way from Order 66, like she has been in a journey with herself, like, because all her journey after Clone Wars, I mean, and after Revenge of the Sith, she was in mourning. Like she was basically like in a how can I put this? In a battle with herself, because in a way she blamed herself for what happened to Anakin.
Yeah.
Like she still blames herself, and she still cannot go through with it. Like, what happened to Anakin,
Actually,
because think about
actually,
it. What?
actually, I'm going to change my mind. I do think it will because of one thing. I've just remembered the Obi-Wan with Qui-Gon, because Qui-Gon wasn't announced, but everybody thought that yes, he will. So I do think the fact that he's announced, and then off of the back of Qui-Gon being announced and everyone was loving it, I think they have. Yeah, no, I disagree. I've disagreed with myself. I've changed my opinion on the stream. Like, I do think he will.
Because
Yeah, that's cool.
because hear me out. I do think that there will be a Force Ghost scene with Anakin and Ahsoka. I think it will happen, and I think Episode 5 could be that episode where this happens. But here's the thing: it could easily be Hayden Christensen and Ahsoka, Hayden Christensen, Anakin with Ahsoka in Clone Wars flashbacks. Like that could easily be that. Okay, don't get me wrong.
Expect
It could be just that.
Ladies and gentlemen, expect an episode 5 review on the channel. Like that episode 5 have put so much pressure on.
Oh my god! I mean, like, it could be just flashbacks. Let's be real. It could be just Clone Wars flashbacks, which just for me that will still be awesome to see Hayden Christensen in like Clone Wars style Anakin Skywalker. Like that would still be awesome. With the long hair and everything. Oh my god! I just remembered. Can you imagine a Clone Wars flashback? You have Ahsoka, like younger Ahsoka, and I think they're gonna use like another actress to play younger Ahsoka. Hayden Christensen's Anakin, and then Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan.
I don't think my heart can contain that, and I don't think yours can either.
I think I would have a heart attack. Seriously,
Yeah, I
like
think
seeing all three of them together. Oh my god! But I still think, like, I still think that in this show, I think Ahsoka will have a conversation with Anakin's Force Ghost. I think they will have a conversation in which, like, Anakin was trying to, like, talk with her, like, trying to, basically say, let the past go. Like, you don't have to blame yourself. It's my fault, or something like that. Because think about it. If Ahsoka never left the Jedi Order, I don't think Anakin would have turned to the dark side.
No, maybe not. Maybe not. Because I think there was other things though. That sort of that.
Yeah, but think about.
She was a massive part of his character and like his change in sort of his morals and his outlook and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not too sure about that big of a bold, that big of a statement. But no, I can. There's definitely points and there's definitely reasoning for that.
Exactly, because the thing is, because let's be real, like the true balance of Anakin's character were like on the one side you had Padme, on the other side you had Ahsoka. It was the perfect balance for him, because both of them.
And his mom.
Well, okay, I'm talking about from the Clone Wars, not like before the Clone Wars.
Right.
Because when she died, that was kind of like the start of like when he kind of like tasted the dark side of the Force, basically, because of anger, revenge, and everything. Now, when he met Ahsoka, Padme and Ahsoka were basically the balance of Anakin Skywalker. When Ahsoka left the Jedi Order, Padme was left on her own, and she was not enough to keep him to the light. Basically, I mean that's the way how I saw it. So I think like if Ahsoka never left the Jedi Order, I think like Palpatine wouldn't succeed to turn him.
No, that's definitely true. No, can definitely see that.
Yeah. Now, but again, I really cannot wait. And I will say this: be prepared for like this show to have a lot of twists and turns and revelations. Be prepared for that as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, episode 5, we're gonna have Clone Wars flashbacks, and we're gonna have Force Ghost Anakin. That's my bet. What do you think is gonna be episode 5? Go ahead. Now, use your imagination. Tell me what you think. Tell me your own predictions for episode 5.
I think we're gonna have villain arcs be defined. I think we're gonna have some really cool action set pieces. I think we're gonna have Anakin in some capacity, big or small, and I'm gonna predict that there's gonna be a death at the end of episode 5.
That's a
I
very
don't know
nice.
who. I don't know
That,
who, but I think there might be somebody.
I don't think of Ahsoka, Sabine, Hera, and Hu Yang. Now, Hu Yang, I'm not sure, but like Hera, Sabine, and Ahsoka, I don't think they will die. I don't think
Okay.
they will. And I don't now. But the crazy thing is, yeah. But the thing is, I think like there will be some characters dying in Ahsoka. Now, where, how, and when, I don't know. But there will be some deaths. That's for sure. Now, I think like now with everything that we covered up and everything, one last thing I think I will say is that since I mentioned before, this is all part of this Mandoverse that John Favreau and Dave Filoni created. This I think like this show will definitely set up Dave Filoni's upcoming Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
It will definitely set it up.
Yeah, it's got to.
Yeah. So that's why I think like Thrawn will have limited screen time in this one, because Dave Filoni was trying to save him for like the main villain role in the movie.
Yeah.
But here comes another question I have for you, because I've seen a lot of people talking about it. Do you think there's a possibility that Ahsoka could have a season 2?
No.
Or do you think no?
I think it'll be a movie. I think that because we've had 3 seasons of The Mandalorian, Boba Fett, I think they were going to go for a season 2. I don't think it would have worked out now. It depends on obviously the time frame of when we'll get the David Filoni film.
It
But
should be. I think it should be either December or May 2026.
Yeah, so I do think, could you probably fit in a season 2 in that time, possibly, but I think that it'll be the way we've seen with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, then leading into Captain America 4, like having that show is building the groundwork and building the base for the show, base for the movie, sorry, and then we're going to get into the movie, and Star Wars need to be back in cinemas anyway, like I've said that many times.
Definitely.
Like that's where it started, that's where it needs to be, and I think that with a really passionate Star Wars filmmaker like David Filoni at the helm, with everything we've got from the 3 shows, at the moment, so much content, so many great positives coming from all the shows, and we've not even seen Ahsoka yet, and there's still positives. I think that could be the final, nail in the incredible plans, and has really built the foundations up for a really great movie. So no, not a season 2 for me. I'd happily take it, but you could really impact many people and really rush this film to the forefront of people's minds with a good season and linking into a movie.
Yeah. Also, because think about it, we have Star Wars Skeleton Crew on the way, which is also part of the Mandoverse. Number one. Number 2, season 4 is also still has to be made. So like also that you also have to have it in mind. And I think like with the strike and everything, I think season 4 is going to be released somewhere like either the last week of December 2024 to 2025, or is going to be like maybe just like 2023, like March 2025 or something like that. I think. So with everything, what
if you get Boba Fett season 2, Mando season 4, and then a skeleton crew in there before the movie, that's fine. If you get Ahsoka season 2, Mando 4, and skeleton crew before the film, that's just top tier for me.
Yeah, but I don't think I personally I don't think we're gonna get the Book of Boba Fett season 2. I don't think we will.
No.
I think this is gonna be like a limited thing, just like Obi-Wan was. Even though McGregor put some ideas like what season 2 could be, but like even though Deborah Chow did say it's still on the table, but I don't think Obi-Wan or Book of Boba Fett will be there will be a season 2. I think like Book of Boba Fett in this case is gonna be like a limited thing. Now going back to Ahsoka, some people are saying like, we could get a possible season 2, but for me personally, I don't think it will. I think it's gonna be like a limited thing.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're gonna do a season 2 because if you look at like the release dates and how everything is set, I don't think they could place it. Honestly,
Yeah,
like before, like for example, if they put Dave Filoni's movie December 2026, let's put it that way, December 2026, then maybe there's a possibility to put it somewhere before that date, but I don't know. Now, I personally, I don't think there's gonna be a season 2. If it is, great. But if it's not, I still think it's gonna be like a mini series, like a limited thing. I don't think there's gonna be a season 2. So I think both we can agree that the possibility of season 2 is very, very low.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Also, last thing before we finish, I just want to say, Clone Wars flashbacks. I think it's gonna be either on Coruscant at the Jedi Temple, or at the Battle of Christophsis when they actually met for the first time, or maybe Battle of Geonosis or something like that. Like for me, those are the 3 locations from Clone Wars. I think like where we could see the flashback.
Yeah, Battle of Geonosis for me. I think because I think that could really cause them. I think that could be a really cool sort of.
Oh, that could be even a very cool way to cameo, bring some cameos of like Luminara Unduli and Barry Sophie.
Yeah. So yeah, no. Battle of Geonosis.
Okay, one more thing, one small thing, and then I promise we are done. Do you think, because there's been a lot of theories, do you think Captain Rex will appear in Ahsoka?
Yeah, flashback.
You don't think he's going to appear in person?
No. I'm saying flashback.
Because
I think that'd be nice to see.
Because here's the thing, another spoiler. I'm sorry to say that. I'm sorry to ruin the Rebels for you. Because in Rebels, Rex does appear. It's like an older clone.
Yeah, maybe. I think there's definitely potential. But yeah, definitely flashback for sure. And then it might have both. Could have both.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see Tamora Morrison back in Star Wars, and this time as Captain Rex. I would love to see that. So for Captain Rex, I would say for me it's like a 50-50 thing. But I really wanted to see if you think he's gonna appear or not.
Yeah, I could see it happening in both. More likely with a flashback, but no, I'd be happy to take both.
Yeah. Do you still believe? Do you still kind of believe that Ahsoka Tano at first was hated?
In terms of what? In terms of what, the TV show or?
No. Okay, so when Dave Filoni released the Clone Wars movie, the anime movie.
Yeah, I think that movie was hated anyway. I think that movie was just. I don't think people wanted that anyway.
Yeah, I'm serious. Like when the movie was released, everyone hated Ahsoka Tano. Everyone hated her so much because they found her irritable. Like she was irritating, annoying. Like people hated her. But when they released the Clone Wars series, episode per episode, people started loving her. Episode per episode.
It's definitely a character that's redeemed herself. She's been in a lot of animated, obviously, shows and stuff like that. She's had so much time on screen, and I think that's probably leaned into why it's took this long to get her a live action show. But I think she's definitely the fans' respect and obviously the fans' enjoyment. So I would definitely not say that. Yeah, the character might have been hated at the beginning, but certainly not now. There's a big fandom, and I'm really looking forward to the next Star Wars project on Disney Plus.
Yeah, but also I just want to say I love the way how George Lucas and Dave Filoni were talking about, like, giving Anakin Skywalker a Padawan, and basically Dave Filoni is like, wait a minute, like Anakin Skywalker is not a Jedi Master. Like how, he doesn't have a Padawan. How are we gonna do this? And George Lucas just simply looks at him. He's like, he has a Padawan. Like he's got a Padawan. Like he doesn't give a shit. Like we're gonna give him a Padawan and that's it. Because that was also controversial. Like how is he a master? Like because in the movie he's like kind of like still like an apprentice to Obi-Wan.
Yeah, that was a cool dynamic of that show, the whole show. It's like Obi-Wan's like the grandfather, like, and then like Anakin's the father and Ahsoka's the daughter. Like, there's just 3 generations. Like that's what really struck me was.
Well, it's more like an older sister, older brother, and younger sister relationship.
Yeah, and then like Obi-Wan's the dad, like just.
Or like the strict uncle.
Yeah, there's no strict uncles. There's no strict uncles in anything.
Well, that's true. That's true. Okay, so everything said and done, we have come to an end to another great Shadow Council live stream discussion / prediction, whichever you like to call it. So overall, I'm really happy. I'm really hoping that all of you guys enjoyed our little, well, not so little, almost 2 hours discussion. And well, you guys, you know the drill. You know all the good old-fashioned YouTube channel traditions. So until next time, Lord of Shadows signing off.
The council meeting is over. I'm clocking out. Film Movie Central. Thank you very much. See you all soon.
And may the force be with you.
Always.